Something big is coming that I think you're really going to enjoy. If you like the 5e boss encounter in a box format, and I know you probably do, you're going to want to follow the Archvillain Death and Beyond campaign coming to Gamefound. I'm teaming up with them to tell you about the project over the next couple of weeks over a few videos, and I'm going to show you some prototypes of what's inside the boxes, I'm going to answer your questions, and I'm going to tell you everything you need to know to see if this campaign is right for you and your table. And if you like freebies, use that eye in the corner of your screen or the link down below to go to the campaign landing page and sign up to follow it before it launches. You'll get access to free monster PDFs, there's miniature digital STL files to print minis at home, there's magic item PDFs, boss PDFs, and if you decide to back the campaign for at least one box when it launches, you'll get a free physical mini and a free GM screen. Now, Archvillain Games is a company that makes fantasy and sci-fi minis and 5e content. Archvillain Encounters is one of their core titles, alongside Erevan's Guide to Death and Beyond, Voidsea, and Prometheus's Guide to Olympus. The new Death and Beyond Gamefound campaign brings more than 15 D&D Mega Boss Encounter boxes to your table. Each box has a huge size boss miniature, and wait till you see these, plus a 50-plus page adventure booklet, which is almost twice as big as we're used to with boxes like this, a dry erasable battle map, minion tokens, a deck of loot cards, and more. If you've run some other box encounters, you probably know what to expect here, but Archvillain is taking things up several notches, and the boxes might expand with even more material through stretch goals, depending on how well the campaign does. These bosses are the Gravelords from the Erevan's Guide to Death and Beyond. And in the campaign, you can pick and choose whichever boxes interest you the most. And if the campaign is successful, Archvillain envisions continuing the line and releasing even more boss encounters in future installments. And the more boxes you order in the campaign, the bigger the discount you'll get. So let me show you these Gravelords so that you know what you're in for. This is Adramol and a Necrolon. Here's Azalid and Blotrick. And here we have Lilith and Felmoth and Nontendod. Next up is Nethergaze and Nicodemus and Morrison the Death Triad. Next up we have Sepulchrus and Vesperus and Vorgheal. And finally we have Saint Isdor and Atrum Rex the Unburied King. Now, if you're wondering what Erevan's Guide to Death and Beyond actually is, it was Archvillain Games' big 2024 Kickstarter, which brought in more than $1.4 million and more than 8,500 backers. It was a massive horror fantasy 5e project built around death, undeath, and the larger-than-life undead villains they called the Gravelords. It included a huge source book, an adventure book called the Undying Accord, and all kind of player options and monsters and spells and items and lore tied to this afterlife setting. The bosses in Archvillain Encounters, Death and Beyond come directly out of that world. These 15 encounter boxes are built around the Gravelords from the Undying Accord adventure, with 14 of them having already appeared there, and Vorgheal being expanded into a full dedicated Gravelord Megaboss encounter for this campaign. The nice thing, though, is that you do not need to own or run Erevan's Guide to use these. Each box is designed to work as its own standalone boss encounter, so you can just drop one into your campaign and go. But if you want to run a bigger connected story, that Erevan material gives you the broader lore, world building, and campaign framework to tie multiple encounters in together to something a little larger. The premise of the Undying Accord campaign is that the characters are pulled beyond death and into the Sea of Souls, this dark afterlife ocean shaped by memory and hunger and shadow. And to escape, they have to travel through multiple death-themed domains, command a cursed ghost ship called the Dark Remembrance, and confront the Gravelords, these undead tyrants who rule over the different shattered realms of the afterlife. And that campaign isn't just one boss fight after another either. The broader campaign is about journeying across this whole afterlife setting, getting stronger, gaining strange allies and familiars, uncovering new horrors, and dealing with the consequences of death as an actual force in the story. The book and some of its supporting material and accessories will also be purchasable in this current campaign if you're interested in that. One thing I really like here is that these aren't just cool minis in a box, and then you're kind of on your own figuring out what you want to do with them. Each encounter is built to be fully playable for both D&D 5e 2014 and 5.5e 2024, and each one is designed as a multi-phase boss fight, which already makes them feel a lot more cinematic than just dropping a stat block on your table. Each of those 50-page booklets includes the boss's stat block and lore, setup material, GM tips, the boss's lair, supporting monsters and minions, and the information you need to actually run the whole thing in your adventures. So this feels much more like getting a complete encounter package rather than just a miniature and a couple of loose ideas. They're also built to work at 3 different average party levels, which gives you a lot more flexibility depending on where your group is in their story. And I think that flexibility is one of the big appeals here in general. You can absolutely just grab one of these things and plug it into your existing campaign as a big set-piece boss fight. But if you really want to go bigger, you can also combine multiple boxes and turn them into a larger connected story, especially if you bring in the Undying Accord as your campaign framework, tying everything together. Or grab a box and take it to game night to play an exciting one-off adventure. That's how we bring new players into our world. Show up at game night with something cool like this and make them feel like epic heroes while they're learning to play the game we love. Now, the details you need to know about the campaign, with the caveat that things are subject to change, so check that campaign page for all the actual current details. The campaign is scheduled to launch on Gamefound on May 12th, 2026 at 12 o'clock noon Eastern Daylight Time, and it ends on June 9th at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Remember to use those links to follow the campaign now, up there, down there. You'll get access to those free digital goodies like those monster stat blocks and items, and even those printable minis if you want to check those out. And if you end up getting at least one box, you'll get the physical miniature of Erevan, the Thanatomancer who acts as a narrator for the adventures in the world of Death and Beyond, and you'll get a Gravelord's 4-fold GM screen. Remember, campaigns on Gamefound aren't a store, so you won't get your boxes right away, but they do plan for rapid delivery. All the adventures and miniatures are ready to produce, and the boxes should be delivered within 6 to 7 months after the completion of the Gamefound campaign. The campaign will have the best offers you're probably ever going to get for these boxes, so if you're interested, this is going to be the time to jump in. They do offer stretch pay for pledges of $159 or more, so you can split those payments across multiple interest-free installments, which is something that I've gotten very used to on Gamefound personally. And you will get bundled shipping discounts for custom-free shipping for the USA, Canada, the UK, Australia, New Zealand, the EU, and Asian countries. In the next video, I'm going to go through some prototype material from one of these boxes so you can get a clear sense of what Archvillain is bringing to your table. If you have any questions though, please let me know down below. You can use those links to sign up for those freebies, and you are going to want to be there for the start of the campaign. Trust me on that. More details next time. But for now, please stay safe, have fun, love each other, and I'll see you next time at the Gallant Goblin.